Hey, what's up, El Paso? It's your host, Edgar, on Team Jackie Stevens Home Show podcast. And today, man, I got to tell you, I'm pumped. It's boys' night in, boys' night out. You call it, I called it. I called my man. I say, hey, let's bring it to you guys live. People want to know about how the best do it. And I said, hey, man, I want to group it up. I will say that on one of our guests couldn't make it today, had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I do have the distinctive pleasure of bringing on my two boys, Mr. Moses Nungaray from NRG Real Estate Group. What's going on, big dog?
What's going on, brother?
Don't forget the man, the myth, the man they call Matt Rice. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, gentlemen?
Boy.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, anytime, man. Again, guys, I know we talked about this, I want to say several times last year, getting together as the Zoom calls became a big thing, and we wanted to get together, you know, less times us being at a bar and talking about business. So I thought I promised for 2021, as you guys know, we were doing these live podcasts just because I always feel you bring great minds to what we do on a daily basis. And there's never a better time than to call you guys when I need it, and wanted to bring you here forefront and say, hey, let's let everybody else know what we talk about when we want to, you know, I hate to say it, we're uncensored guys, okay? So, you know, we want to shoot the shit, we want to throw it right, and let's be cool.
Are we really uncensored? We can say whatever we want?
Whatever, bro. I'm not telling.
I appreciate the invite. I thought I was just here to get coffee for you guys or something. That's why.
Just coffee. Coffee's good, man. But you know what? I want to say, since the big baller Matt Rice, well, we're still going to get food on you here in a couple of weeks for lunch, so I don't think you're out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I guess so, right? Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
So, man, I wanted to just kind of touch base. So, you know, typically we'll say, hey, let's go do lunch. We do a little mastermind. Like I said, we don't have Albert on here, who was one of our guests, and he's always cool because he brings a whole different element. And I think that's what's really cool and unique about each one of our business, right? You know, I'm partnered up with the beautiful Miss Jackie Stevens, and I get to reap those benefits. But you guys are all, you know, strong leaders, and I have the utmost respect for you guys because you guys bring it, and your teams definitely see it and get to enjoy it because you guys are those leaders. And I think I've talked to you guys on a one-off how, you know, you guys both came in right around the same time, about 7 years ago. Am I dating that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, we were in the same class together.
We were in class together, Moses and I.
I love it. And, you know, and I remember first coming in, you know, I told Jackie, I have a story that you know, I often share it, and I sometimes don't, but I made an executive decision, and I quit my job and left benefits, high-paying job, all that baloney, right? And I said, I'm ready to come to your team, Jack, and add my little piece to it and take it to a next level. But one thing that I didn't have was a guy figure to have as a mentor, you know, somebody that I can trust. And we all know it. Not everybody is very foretelling. I don't know if it's an El Paso thing, but nobody likes to give the secrets, right? And I get it. I get it. It's hard. But each one of you guys, when I reached out and I've talked to you guys, you know, on a one-off to say, hey, how do you guys handle with this? Or what are you guys doing differently? We can all have that open dialogue. So that's kind of, if you guys don't mind, we'll have that kind of conversation so everybody can hear and talk about, you know, I don't need you to give me all the details because I am taking notes as well. But you know, just a few things because, you know, and I'll pick on you first, Matt, because I think you nailed it first not too long ago. I was watching one of your videos, and you can give an open book, right? I think it's just one of those things that you can say, you can do this, continue to do that, and at the end of the day, you have the people that are going to do it and those that don't, and that's usually the difference. What do you think on that? Like, share some of that story on there.
So hold on, repeat that, Edgar? I kind of lost that. So what was the exact question?
The question, just like, you have a lot of guys that you give an open playbook, right? You say, look, man, this is all you got to do. It's a winning formula that's going to help you succeed. And, you know, whether it's sell a lot, whether it's picking up listing appointments, whatever it is, you tell your team. And there's only a few that are actually going to do what it requires to do to be successful. And then you're going to have those that just, oh man, your system doesn't work, man. What do you have to say to those people, and what do you think is the difference?
Well, the biggest thing is we know with other team leaders that are on here, we're all going to have our playbook, we're all going to have our styles. The biggest thing is you have to believe in it. you know, whatever team that you join, go in there, you get to believe in it. I know, like with my team, I've been very blessed to have teams that follow my lead, if that makes sense. I mean, you know, like our bread and butter, and there's, you know, we're an open book. I've spoken with you guys several times before, and people ask me, what are you doing and what systems do you have? And, you know, the biggest thing with us is, you know, I'm really big on working your sphere of influence, loving on your people. You know, because I know with you guys, I mean, Moses is one of the most lovable guys that I know. I mean, I like you too, Edgar, but Moses is super lovable. Even though he's an undercover a-hole, like some of us like to call him. Just kidding. But that's just pretty much the biggest thing. I hope I'm answering that. But I mean, my biggest thing is with everybody is just really follow the plan that your leader has in place, trust the process, but also track and measure for yourself. You know, if you come in and don't track and measure in 30 days, because, you know, you're not going to see very many results in 30 days. That's a God honest truth. But maybe track, you know, year over year, quarter over quarter, you know, semi-annually, whatever works best. I know with my team, it's hard to like talk a lot or to speak a lot, guys. But with us, I like to look at what did we do last year and how much percentage do we we want to increase this year, if that makes sense. And you know, put the plans in place. Just don't just say, I want to do 300. I want to serve 300 families. Well, no, what's our plan? What plans are we putting in place to serve and touch 300 families? If that makes sense.
No, absolutely, and I think you nailed it there, right? The sphere of influence, and there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. But I think we all follow the same successful people, other agents, whether they're locally here or nationally, and you follow, and that's always the key thing, right? Is your database. You know, it's who's there, it's who you continue to touch, and just because you sold, and I'm gonna pick on you. You know, you can say 200 homes or whatever it is. Doesn't necessarily mean that everybody knows that you sold 200 homes. You got to keep reminding people, this is what I do. This is my passion. This is what I like to do. Same thing with you, Moses. You know, I see the same type of leadership with, you know, with you and your team. And I've seen that since the first day I walked into Keller Williams. You know, like who's the guy that I got to beat? You know, here's my Tom Brady reference for the night. You know, he's usually the first guy in the building, right? And that was Moses. You know, he walked in. I said, okay, so I saw him come in at 7:05. My job here is to show up at 6:55. That was my role, right? Yeah. Because if he's doing it, then I want to know what you know. I was just trying to steal as much as information as I could. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Can I jump in? One thing that I love about Moses is I remember, you know, our office. Remember our tiny office, Moses, this Clearview one, right about Pebble Hills. I mean, gosh, it's so small, like 80 square feet. It was tiny. And every time I'd go to the office, I'd pass by a model home when he first started listing Carefree, and he was. And remember that, Moses? And they talking about that hardworking attitude. And I was always sitting Sanderson, and this guy was always sitting Carefree. Yeah, always, man, always there working late, always out there showing. And so, just want to give you some props for that. I always respected you for that.
No, same with you, Rob. That's what I used to see from both you guys. Edgar, I remember one time we had a conversation, and I don't know what you asked him, but I just said, just start, and he started, bro. I would hear you on the phone. I'd walk in, and you were already on the phone, man, and I was like, crap, I'm like an hour behind, and I jump on the phone, and it's like it's not a competition, man, but it's motivating, you know, and Matt, I mean, he used to stop by my model. Like, remember what it wasn't even a model. There was no appliances in the house. It wasn't even landscaped. I was sitting on the kitchen counter, and Matt would walk in like, "Oh, you're still here?" I'm like, "Yeah, they haven't gotten rid of me yet." Yeah. And we're selling, man. He just drive up and hang out for a while and shoot the shit for a little bit, but it's motivating, man. And to Matt, what we was talking about earlier, my thing was always make sure I'm around the right people that motivate me, man. I you know, right away when I would talk to that one agent that would complain about making phone calls or working open houses, or hey, how come he's doing this and they're making money? I knew those were the wrong people to hang around with, man. So when you guys call, well, especially when Edgar calls, Edgar calls me, I pick up. Matt sometimes, but at least, you know, we're in that little circle, right? And I think it's I don't see it a lot, man. Sometimes the first thing out of another real estate agent's mouth sometimes is negative, and I like to be around positive people, honestly, and that's it.
You know, it's amazing that you say that, Moses, because that's exactly how it is. And I also treat, like, obviously we have our industry friends and closer relationships, and we have better ones with different realtors than we do with others, right? But at the end of the day, one thing that's always been said about both of you that I respect, and that's, I always say, tell me who your friends are or who your colleagues are, and I'll tell you who you are, right? So I like to always make sure that I'm hanging around the right folk, and that's what you guys illustrate all the time when I talk to you. But the coolest thing is that there's times, we get so especially with 2020, right? Let's call it for what it is. A crazy year. We're all dealing with our respective, situations, whether it was family, friends going through some tough situations, not really knowing in the beginning what freaking COVID was going to really do. And I mean, unfortunate for a lot of others, but fortunate for us as well. Our market really, or our industry, took off to another place, and sometimes leaving us with not knowing what to do, or hey, what are you doing? I'm experiencing this, and I'm experiencing that, and for me to be able to just pick up the phone after having talked to Matt in maybe 2 or 3 months and be like, hey, wait, what's going on? What can we do here? And this and that, and it's like, hey, dude, let me call you in 5 minutes, but I'm gonna give you your full answer, and he does. Same thing with Moses. Like, sometimes it's just it'd be funny. I'll be driving from the west side, and that's usually my time to kind of like just chill out, and I'll pick up the phone and I said, let me just call Moses, see how he's doing, what's going on. And it could just be the dumbest things that I'm going to tell you at that moment, but just the fact that you guys do pick up, I like the fact that we get to share that little bit of insight, you know what I mean? So again, thank you for that, both of you.
Man, I think it's those, like you said, man, at the end of the day, man, we kind of we need that celebration, man. At least in my part, like getting home, I mean, I want to be with my family, and I want to tell them everything that's happened. But I mean, it doesn't excite them. It's not, they want to know that I'm doing good. But I like calling you guys and going and having those little celebrations, like, dude, this is what happened, or hey, this is good, or this is bad, or this sucked.
Those are the best calls. The ones with the bad calls.
Those are the best calls that we can make. I always recommend somebody, like, follow that niche, man. Follow who has that niche that you're, because I can't sell like Matt sells, man, and vice versa. I mean, like, I see you, man. We all have different personalities, and we all put on a different show. But one thing I know from you guys that you guys take care of your clients, and I take that. I have respect for that, because we don't always talk about the sale. We always talk about, hey, this is what I was able to do for a client. Right. This is what I did. Or I might call Matt and say, dude, I think this is what's happening, and he might just drop a nugget, and I'm like, that's right. Or Albert, sometimes I call him and he calls me, he'll tell me, like, man, you're just calling are you just bitching, or what do you want to hear? And I'm like, dude, I'm just telling you, man, like, I'm telling you what happened. But his response will be more like, hey, dude, you know what you got to do, just get back to work. And I'm like, okay. So you kind of know who to talk to. If I want to whine a little bit, I might call you or Matt. And if I want to just a little kick in the ass, I might just call Albert just to,
it's that tough love.
Yeah. And those celebrations, bro, Matt, when I saw your numbers, brother, I was like, dude, that's awesome, man. I celebrate your successes, man. Well, I think we need to keep doing that as agents, brother. I mean,
thank you. But it's with me, I always tell everybody, I have a great team behind me. It's nothing about myself. I have great individuals, and I work hard to surround myself. And that's one thing, having friends like you guys. I remember when we started 7 years ago. Remember? I'm like, shit, I didn't want my phone to ring once. Like, can somebody call me, please? And now, my man, I have these agents that just work so hard, and they've helped me build our brand. We have a couple different team setups here, but the biggest thing, we've just been blessed, and I've been able to transfer some of my skills to my agents and just allow them. I believe in surrounding myself with people that have the same goals and vision, and them. It's always worry about the client first and take care of us second, if that makes sense. Always, we have to do what's best for the client. And that's one thing that I think is lost sometimes in our craft, because, our industry can be very selfish. And sometimes we forget to celebrate these families that we're helping buy, sell, and achieve the American dream, but also the tragedies. You see the divorces, we see the deaths. We deal with all kinds of things, and it's on how we handle it, having empathy and sympathy and taking care of our clients.
Hey, man, did you ever think that's what you were going to be doing, man? Like, dealing with divorces? I mean, it sucks, but
it's hard.
It's hard. I mean, all the stuff that that we've seen as realtors, man, when we're sitting in that class studying for our license. I mean, I just had a baby, and you were planning to get married at the time, so
Right.
that was
Yeah, we were engaged. Me and 70 were engaged. Remember? Yeah.
yeah. Remember, you were like, yeah, no, you keep on showing me pictures. This is my fiance. This is my fiance. I'm like, all right, dude, it's on. So, I think, I mean, it's just crazy, man. To think when we first started, we thought, oh, we're gonna be selling houses, but now the reality sits in that we're dealing with divorces. You know, I have a family right now that we're helping that, you know, moms, you know, with living with them right now. You know, she can't take care of herself. She has to sell the house, and the house, you know, we got to do what we have to do to help out these families. But it's crazy, crazy, crazy that we don't. I don't know, man. I just sit back and say, man, I didn't know this is what it was going to be.
Right.
But it's a lot more stuff. But I mean, it's exciting still, man. It's still fun, but it's a lot of decision making, man. Trying to think out of the box and just truly, truly helping people, man.
That's a big reason I'm bald. I mean, we deal with so many different situations and everything else.
What you're talking about? Look at this hair, bro.
I mean, you guys have good hair, but every
look
situation is different. I mean, every situation is different. And, you know, you're talking about something where we come home and we're excited to speak to our significant others about stuff, but sometimes it's like, I negotiated a hell of a deal, or I did this, I did that, but they don't understand it. But you're 100% right, Moses. I mean, it's just a whole different ball. I never thought I would deal with some stuff that I deal with. I'm very sad. Other one's very happy. I mean, it's just, it's a beautiful industry.
Yeah. And we dropped the ball, right? I mean, I've dropped the ball a couple of times, and
we all do.
I mean, the great thing is that we still have an opportunity, you know, to fix it. And going back to when we first started talking about, like, all these new agents coming on board, they're like, you know, they think there's a secret, right? There's one little thing that they have to do to. I'm like, no, man, it's just live it. Be a realtor. Be a provider. Be a service provider of value, and it'll come to you, man. And I think, I don't know, I've seen a couple of people come on board that'll ask me, like, really, that's what it is? And I'm like, yeah. And selling. A lot of people don't know that it's really actually selling, man. Like, getting in front of somebody and trying to convince them to hire you. Like, you know, hire me. Like, these are my qualifications. Every 30 days we're getting fired, right?
Right. I'm only as good as my last sale. That's what I tell my team. I'm only as good as my last sale. Yeah, we sold 200 homes last year, but it's a new one. You know, resets come January 1st.
Yeah. January 1st. And a good segue there, because that was kind of like my lead up as well. Because I mean, and thank you for that insight, because that's just like you two going at it, right? It's like a conversation I just got out of the picture, and you guys are going at it on what's really going on. Hey, this is for you guys. But you know, what I was gonna say is, you get a lot of those calls. I mean, I'm sure, I know I get them. I'm sure you guys get them. Where, hey, I want to be a realtor. Can you talk to me a little bit about what that is? You know, I want to. What's the famous line, right? I want to have vacation. I want to.
I want to make a lot of money. I want to be up on the weekends. I want to work 3 hours a day. I mean, I want to make everybody happy. But no,
you know, and I love selling homes. Everybody loves selling homes and what a home entails, right? And that's what I try to tell people. The homes sell homes, right? It's more about the relationship that you build, and sometimes it's just making that person believe what they thought was impossible of owning a home. And I mean, that's just a beauty thing. And I think, like, we all have it. Moses, I know you carry it. I mean, you can. I used to sit across the hall from you and hear you talk to your clients. I'm like, man, I was used to my AT&T days. You know what I mean? I'm telling people, you need to buy this internet today. You know, to get a sign. With you, is completely different, and it was just a different approach. And I learned from that. You know, having Albert was a whole different thing. You know, I remember approaching Albert for the first time and telling him, hey, dude, what's your best line, like, to try to get this listing appointment? He's like, oh, dude, he literally pushed me out like so many times. I wanted to be out here today, man.
On your face, Albert, get out. Get out.
Yeah, he was just, oh, man, you're not worthy of the speech, you know. And I used to laugh, because we're not loud. I used to be like, se cree muy chingón, you know. But that's what it was. I mean, but it taught me to, like, hey, come up with your formula, one, and then later on, you can have that conversation and be like, hey, this is how I do it, and then all of a sudden you put pieces together and it just makes sense, you know. So
that's the hardest piece to do, though, bro, because I'm sure you guys deal with that every day, where someone walks up to you and and wants you to drop what you're doing. Albert mastered the this is my time. If you want to talk to me at 1 o'clock, I freaking admire that, bro, because I can't do that, and he knows he has that art of saying no down to a T. But I tell you what, I seen him take care of his customers, and I seen how what he does on the listings, and I seen what he I mean, I went to his office. He's only kicked me out once. If his wife is there, then he can't say anything because I'm cool. I'm allowed. But yeah, man, I admire that, bro, because it's hard. I don't know how you guys deal with it. I mean, I don't know if you're, but I have a hard time scheduling myself sometimes because I do want to help agents and I do want to help, get them going. But sometimes, I mean, our day is full. But I don't know how you guys do it. But I
my phone rings all day, Moses. I mean, my phone is ringing all day long, and it's finding that balance. But I mean, and people will laugh. And I'm sorry if I've ever worked with you and I'm calling while I'm in the shower. I don't care. 'Cause I'm not FaceTiming you. My biggest thing is time is money. You can, I'm not even. Moses. I spoke with you, and people get all weird. I'm like, why? I mean, we could talk business. I don't mind. And just everything counts for me. And that's just if I'm on an appointment, I need to make sure I'm readily available for all of my team in case I have a question and things like that. And it's, going above and beyond. I won't do that with a client, but if I'm working a deal with somebody or I'm coaching, I will all day long because it is hard. And unfortunately, I can't time block because I do my best to do it, but it's just one thing where sometimes you just can't when you have people calling you for help and everything else.
But see, what we see other agents, right? They're like, oh, I time block, and we've seen those other, like all those interviews, like let's put our Tom Ferry glasses on, like, hey, you have to time block, and it's not a reality all the time, right? And all you can do is adjust and pivot,
Right. You're 100% right. Like you could try to have a game plan every day, 8 to 9, I'm going to lead generate. But if something comes up, because shit happens all the time, you got to kind of divert and then come back to it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's that balance of replacing the time that you took out, right? It's just like you have a designated time to try to do it, and this is the best time to do it, but sometimes you can't. Things happen, and then I always tell the new people that come in, I say, as long as you find the time to replicate it when it needs to be done, and that could be sometimes right now. If you need to get on a phone call because you need to make that happen, that's what needs to get done. But you can't say I'll do it tomorrow, because that's the other famous line here in El Paso: mañana, right?
Mañana.
And mañana never comes, and you fall behind, and you can get very easily behind in this business. Just so that we can also just touch on a little bit like the market, and I know it's hard because we're not historians or anything like that, but at the end of the day, we do see the trends, we see what's coming. I'll ask both of you guys to share what your guys' thoughts are for 2021. Obviously, we've already towards the end of 2020, I mean, it was just almost crazy to find a house on your first showing to a client just because you have 10 other people seeing that same house and, trying to outbid offers and stuff like that. The inventory is still low. What are your thoughts on what, you guys are still digging at, what you guys can share here today for some of these agents and just in general, just having a conversation with you guys?
Go ahead, Moses, you first.
Mine is just is right up the front, just setting those expectations with the clients and even the other agents. There's some agents I've talked to that are like, well, I already have 20 offers. Like, okay, well, I'm sure the top 3 are going to be one of the ones where it's just setting expectations. Like when I talk to an agent, sometimes they're trying to get me to make another offer, bigger offer. It doesn't matter. There's still appraisals, there's still inspections, and there's so much other involved. And I think if your communication with the agents would get better, I think that's what needs to happen. But on the buyer side right now, I think it's still going to be a hell of a market. I think it's still going to be good. I don't think we're going to go, unless you guys think something different, but we're not going to go into a bad time here in El Paso. There's low inventory, but I think we're gonna hit a pocket of inventory by summer. Forbearance is gonna finish up, and we'll see a lot of rentals that we're renting and how they're gonna sell them. We're gonna pick up all those listings, hopefully. Be able to help some people out, and I think it's still a hell of a time right now. I ran some numbers. I saw Rene. He put something on Facebook last time that he ran some numbers for his client. I had just done something for one of my clients in Garden Park. That's where I started over there with Definitive over there, man. And Matt just sold a house there, right? That corner one on Colonial, right?
No, it's right there off of on the bottom part. No.
On the hill.
Belkin, I'm Belkin. No, I'm
There you
Belkin.
go.
I'm Belkin. Yeah.
Bro, that community, what is it like? Not even when did you sell that? 4 years ago? 4 years ago? I mean, the difference in market, man, when we sold it to where the house is worth right now, I mean, it's amazing. So there's buyers even right now that are closing. I had a few buyers in 2020 that closed, and they had $5,000-$6,000 in equity because the house appraised above market, already. So I just kind of see that right now where I want to get in front of enough sellers that I can share that story, because there's some sellers that are still like, yeah, it's not worth much, or they'd be surprised how much more worth it is. But I think it's going to be a great market, bro. I think we're going to have a great year. I think it's going to take a lot of the sphere of influence, like Matt, what you guys were talking about. That's going to be huge, because we need to partner up with our past clients and see where they're at now. I think it's still going to be a hell of a market. I'm excited about it. Really.
If I may, Moses, but I mean, I agree with you. I think we're gonna have a very strong market for the next few years. And what I like is El Paso is barely catching up to the rest of the country.
Sure.
I mean, you guys know I traveled to. I know you mentioned Tom Ferry glasses, but I mean, I've been doing that for 7 years. And I remember going out of town, and what's your market like? I'm like, well, shit, inventory's sitting for 90 days. Yeah. Sellers are giving closing costs, reducing $10,000. Yeah. I don't remember any. I mean, I know you guys know. It's like shit. You can get a house for $300,000, 2,500 square foot custom icon Sanderson, and now you can't find it. The thing that's tough though is with the appraisals, which I know everybody's seen that the appraisals have been awesome, but the values are going up. But I love that phase. I mean, you and I just had one recently, Edgar, and it was great working with you. But that one on Ted Banks, I mean, thank God the appraisers saw the value. But there's some of these appraisers where they're not seeing the new value, but yet people are willing to pay X amount of dollars, and it's a bit of a shit show. But going back to what Moses was saying, it's a lot of setting expectations and also leveraging relationships with other realtors.
Exactly.
Some realtors like picking up that phone and being really rude, and they don't remember they're going to show your listing in a couple of weeks. They don't remember that phone call and that text message.
And that's what's crazy to me sometimes, right? Because I know Moses, we're due for one, buddy. We need to work a deal. Okay? We are due for one, but
we're due one for one, bro. Yeah, absolutely.
For me and Matt had the pleasure of working one, and I don't think it could have gone any smoother. Just again, setting the expectations from the front. This is what's going to happen. Boom, 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 and it just went to plan. And I mean, it worked out really well, right? And not all deals work that way, but what I'm getting at is setting the expectation. I here recently, made a call to, a very highly decorated listing agent. I just said, I'm not trying to interfere with your expertise or your longevity that you've been doing it for a long time, but I'm not seeing anything close to us being close to appraisal. I don't want to go through the whole process and at the very end, oh no, we're good. Don't even worry about it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I'm like, no, we can't do that. You know what I mean? But we still went for it, and then all of a sudden, when it came down to it, all of a sudden your phone is not being picked up. It's not being, because you're not doing your part. It's kind of like you set the pretense false to the client, to them, yeah, we can get max dollar right now, but then when we get a bad appraisal now, I think that's when we realtors need to work better together at that point. Be like, hey, what do we need to do? Let's think outside the box. And all of a sudden, I got X'd out of that, and I was, it's unfortunate because it just sets a bad precedents all across the board, right? And some appraisals have been really good, and then we have the bad ones, right? But I think you nailed it right there, Matt. You got to be able to work with that other realtor and say, all right, man, what can we do to make this deal work for both? Because it gets lost there,
Absolutely.
No, I think you see that a lot with I had I had two last year that didn't appraise on there. But if you partner up with the agents, kind of think out of the box, man. Even share like, hey, bro, this is what I found this is where my numbers are. Am I wrong? Having those kind of conversations and kind of sharing the wealth at that point and make it a win-win.
Yeah.
for the seller and the buyer. Like, hey, look, this is what it's coming down to. And now here's the numbers. We can't fight the appraisal at that point, or let's try to challenge it. But I've been in situations where the appraisal doesn't come in, and I send my numbers, man. I challenge it, and I can't think of one time where the number didn't go up. I might have not met that exact number,
Exactly.
but whatever we did, whatever I worked hard for to get those comps, they accepted them and they go through. But it's working with the other agent, man, saying, hey, man, what are we gonna do here? Let's work these numbers. Where are the comparables? You know, and sometimes they're like, nope. You know what? It appraised for this much. That's what it is. And at that point, as a listing agent, what choice do you have? I'm sorry, we're not gonna accept it, and we put it back on the market, and I'm gonna work it with somebody else. You know,
Right.
That's our job, to protect the seller. You know, so. I said, Matt, I worked one with Carefree with Matt, but I mean, he told me what he wanted. I said, like, yeah, let's do it.
Made it pretty easy. The
new construction are pretty easy sometimes. I mean, I think those are the ones I worked with you guys the most. Like, I mean, those are pretty easy, but I mean, even that, right, Matt? Sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
Right. We've dealt with that. With like, we have to go talk to the builder. You guys all have worked with builders. You're working with Signature right now, Edgar. I mean, you have to. Now you're the front line, right? Now you become not only the agent, but they see you as the manager. Now you got to fix it because you're the face of it, you know? So even at that, man, it's just a lot of partnership, man. You got to learn how to work well with others. So I don't know how Albert does it then, you know?
he hurts everybody, bro. He just intimidates them and they listen. That's it. You know, I'm going to try it.
Albert's a sweetheart, bro. He's a little teddy bear, bro. I should send you the text that I sent him on New Year's. I just sent him a Happy New Year message, and he got mad because he's like, "This better not be a generic Happy New Year message. I need a heartfelt one." So I had to write him a whole paragraph, bro, like a heartfelt paragraph, and he's like, "Okay, Happy New Year." So
that explains why I got a really good heartfelt one from you. So I will brag about it because
all of you guys, bro. I send heartfelt messages all the time.
You know what, man? This is what I want to see every time, man. It just, it feels good, bro. And again, because it's those relationships that you build, you know what I mean? And it's sometimes this business can get away from us, whether it's good, bad, you get, high lows, whatever it is. But it's those little things, those conversations, again, like I said, that you need at that particular moment to get you going to your next listing appointment or whatever it is, you're like, hey, you know what, this guy.
Well, I don't take anything for granted from you guys, bro. Because I mean, 2019, you guys saw what my family went through, man, and we had a hard time and everything, and you guys were the guys that were calling, and just checking in and see how we were doing. My whole family, I live right down the street from Edgar, pretty close by, and I pass by there all the time, so I would see him all the time. But yeah, man, I don't take that for granted at all, man. You guys, Matt and Albert, people here with KW, man, I don't take that for granted. So we want to make sure that that's longevity, bro. That's legacy, man. We want our kids to be later on. They're like, hey, I know your dad. I hate for someone to come like, your dad's an a-hole.
Albert's kids, yeah.
Hey, that's what you get for not getting on today, man.
Yeah, I know, man. We're gonna be ragging on him just because he's not here. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but
he's probably putting a bunch of messages or something, man.
But you know what, bro? If I may, Moses, but you're 100% right. Going back to the relationships and everything else, because people always remember how you make them feel, and that's one thing that I learned that a long time ago. And it's just one of those things, especially in this business, man. Like, if you have a good transaction, a lot of times some agents are afraid to call and say, "What will it take for me to win this one?" Something as simple as that. Or what are your? I mean, before the 20 offers come in, you're just listed, because there's some agents, they get a really good offer. Let's go. Sellers don't want to wait. Sellers don't wait all weekend. There's some that want to wait, to get the 30 offers and have us do the million net sheets and the breakdown. That's a fun one, right? The dollar you got to put together. But you have those ones that, just tell me what you need. And it's not always about price. People forget the lender is very important. The title company, earnest money, option period. I mean, all those little things. Just because you're the highest doesn't mean you're the best. Just because, remember, they're protected by the third-party financing agreement or addendum, and people forget that.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where you're going to strengthen the offer. Some will say as is. We're not gonna ask for shit. Just take our offer.
Yeah. Right. Do you guys still hear a lot of people saying cash is king? Like, hey, it's a cash deal. That's the best deal.
It depends on how fast of a close. I mean, how much above ask. If it's one of those homes, because we've all taken over price listings. I mean, we everybody on this call has, and even Albert who's out there. But like, if you get that cash deal, it's a slam dunk.
Yeah, I mean, you'll hit it out of the ballpark. But I just see that a lot right now. Like some people like, hey, we got cash. I'm like, send me something then, but it's not always. I mean, because everything's closing quickly. I haven't had anything close over 40 days. I mean, it'll close regardless. Everything's unless you guys see something different. But my transactions, whatever we did close, closed pretty quickly. So there's some times where we did have a cash offer, and unfortunately, the seller still has the decision making, man. We're gonna try to make them make the right decision, but at that point, sometimes like no, we'll wait for that extra 10 grand in our pocket, 30 days, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I mean, finance. I always say, finance deals are not cash. You know what I mean? I mean, it's all cash. It just takes a little longer to get here. You know what I mean? But it's funny because everybody would tell you like we can close in 10 days. And I'm like, okay, but you better raise that money up. You know what I mean? Because this guy has just a good enough offer. It's financing. I don't get me wrong. There's times where the state of the home or whatever it is may not fit all the and that's our job, right? To educate. And that's what I was getting at earlier, just setting that right expectation with your seller. Like, yeah, we can get all these offers and we might get them good because it's, it's just what the market is calling. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't, you want to have that plan B, and they're hard conversations because you want to make sure you're coming in as the king of the listing or whatever it is, and you're never wrong. But sometimes, all we can ever do is just interpret the market. We don't have the answers to everything. I mean, we nailed it pretty good, and I think each one of us here or our teams do a very good job of pricing homes the way they need to. But every situation is different; they're never the same. You know what I mean? That's what I always tell. We also have the clients. Oh, my tia, man, she got the house. They covered her clothing, no down payment, and it closed days. It's like canijo.
How long ago? 10 years ago.
But. And then the worst part, not even in El Paso, it happened somewhere else. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. But we all manage the situation differently, and it's always good to know that we get to do it here. And I'm sure we're closer to 40 minutes. You guys let me know how you guys feel about the time. We can talk about real estate for about another 2 hours. We probably need some more. Let's turn into some fun stuff. Let's go ahead and. So I know Matt's excited, and I hate it because he's all serious though. Like
I know, right?
He's
already the helmet, bro.
He's already waiting for Sunday.
Break out with the helmet, bro. Come on.
Yeah, you'll see. I'm excited. I was actually going to wear a Tom Brady jersey, but I had to rush in and download the flux capacitor to make this video thing work. I didn't have time to go up there and get it. But I'm extremely excited because everybody knows I'm a hardcore Tampa Bay fan. And my buddy Edgar, I know he likes the Niners, the Patriots. Who else? Who do you like this year? You like Tampa Bay this year?
Nah. Well, you know what? I like Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's cool.
Right. And like the Cowboys. And I'm sorry, it's been a long time, but
I know, bro.
That's why I'm excited.
I'm cool just listening in.
No, yeah, but I'm excited because I don't know if you guys know, but my wife, she's awesome. She got me a Super Bowl ticket, so please root for.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we're going. Yeah, So I'm pretty stoked. I'm hoping Mahomes is out, and I'm hoping we could beat Aaron Rodgers, and that way,
Hey, it always starts with a dream, bro. You know what I mean? It starts with a dream, cruzadedos, all that good stuff. But he's a proven winner. I've been telling you guys that for 20 years now, and I got to enjoy that, and I'm rooting for him, man. And I'm rooting for you, and you're one of the good guys. One of the first episode, I still remember this on Facebook. I was in a heated little conversation. I can't even remember who the hell it was, but they're telling him, about Tom Brady and the Patriots and this and that. And then all of a sudden, Matt's like, "Hey, man, go Tom. He's a great." And I was like, "This is Matt Rice, guys. I kind of like him."
I love Tom Brady. He's the greatest. My wife will tell you. I actually have when he was with the Patriots, he was still my favorite quarterback, even though I'm a Bucs fan. I just like his work. I like his work ethic.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Be good at the basics. And it's not a Bill Belichick. I'm a big Nick Saban guy. I'm a big Belichick guy and a big Brady guy. Yeah. Jameis was leading the W, but that didn't get us any W's. You know what I mean? But
he's eating that.
He's going to the flipping Super Bowl again, man. It shows a lot of it's not just the team. Well, it's a team, of course, but he has a lot to do with it, right? Everybody's like, no, it's because they built a team around him. Well, yeah, they're supposed to. You know, that's how it works.
He was
I
asking.
mean, yeah, man, hats off to the guys.
He was just asking for a couple of knives. You know, you send them to these battles, man, with nobody. And I love my Pats, man. You know, they've done a good thing, but you know, we're moving on. You know, it's 2020 was a different year for me, and it was rough. But I'm glad to do it there.
Hey, bro, I'm a Cowboys fan, bro. It's rough every year, bro. Shoot.
Huh?
Niners or Patriots? That we could put it because if Osvaldo Silva is out there, him and Will Nieves were heartbroken when I told them that you were a Patriots fan, not a Niners fan, because they were all backing you up. And me and Ozzy, that's one of my boys, Ozzy Silva, and he was like, "Well, yeah, Edgar." I go, "He's not even a fucking Niner fan. He's a Niners fan." I go, "Pick one." And then I sent him and Will a screenshot, and they were like both shocked. I'm like, "Yeah, he
broke their heart, bro. You broke their heart."
I did, dude.
You know what, man? It's hard to explain, right? Like I say it the best way is they're both my kids. You know what I mean? I'm not picking one over the other, dude. I'm there to support both. This year they played each other, and it was a horrible game. I hate that game, by the way. It's a tough one. It was more of a Patriot fan just because of their success. But you know, I grew up watching the Niners, and we're full squad, full throttle. But that's another conversation. But I'll open it up to you guys, man. You guys have anything else you guys want to share before we call it a night?
Matty boy?
No, I mean, the biggest thing is just, like I said earlier, just trust the process, set up systems. If you are getting into this business, don't be afraid to work hard. You're going to have a lot of long days and zero paychecks coming in. But just remember, for the long term, that's the biggest thing. I mean, people see the teams and everything else there and all the sales and everything else. But, I mean, I always remember from the very beginning, I tell people, we used to work days and days and days without days off and still not make anything. So just trust it and keep on doing it and invest in yourself. Learn, read, listen to podcasts. Yeah. And you're never going to know. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
No, well said, brother. Well said.
I mean, sorry, it's just.
That's good, bro. No, I just on my point, man. I'm just watching you guys, bro, and I'm recognizing a couple of things right off the bat, man. That you guys have high standards because you're my friend, so I know you guys have high standards. So I think that's what I'm going to be working on this year, man. Just kind of not really the goal part, but really just setting the good standards, like for my health, for my family, in real estate. Just, I mean, I think I'm not going to exactly go for like the Matt Rice numbers maybe, but I want to make sure that they're good numbers though. Cause I want to keep in the circle here. So, but I admire you and I appreciate you inviting me too, man. Like I said, man, I thought I just got invited to get the coffee or something.
Hey, man, you know what? I don't drink coffee. I should have. We have to do this for sure. We'll have an in-house one. I think it'll be cool. We get to drink. I think the girls got all crazy or scared here. Jackie's like, "What do you mean you're having a guys all night out?" I said, "Hey, it's my boys. We're gonna sit down."
Boys.
Yeah.
In my dining room, I'm drinking some scotch, but I'm in my dining room, relaxed.
Exactly,
bro. One day when all this crap is over, bro, we'll take a trip to Vegas or something, man. Like all of us and our significant others, and
absolutely,
that should be fun. I need a vacation, bro. Damn, I miss vacations.
Vacations and just spending the quality times with great people, man. And
bro.
I want to thank you both. Not only for taking part of this, our show and coming on here and talking, because I know you guys have been working all day. It's at the end of the day. I'm sure the last thing you want to do is get on a 45-minute call and talk about the stuff that we do. But I know that you guys do it in terms of support. So for that, I show my gratitude towards you both. And on a regular basis, man, like I said, I don't get to thank you guys enough, just indirectly, because like you said it right now, Moses, you guys set the standard and we follow, because I say, hey, you know what? I saw this. I like what he did here. How is he doing it? Right. It always just makes you think like, what is he doing over there that I can't? And it's good competition. It's being competitive, but not only that, it's just continuing to learn from one another to be better, and not necessarily for our number's sake or being the best realtor or whatever that is, right? It's just more about being able to bring the full circle experience for our clients and for that to repeat itself time and time again. So for that, thank you. And I know this is a different kind of show. Usually I have my site partner here with me, and but today
Stevens.
And
Stevens.
Stevens, you know what I'm saying? But today I wanted to definitely get in front of with you guys, because I definitely admire you both, and thanks, man. Let's have a good, strong start to this 2021, and I'm sure we'll be talking some more. Let's do it again. I want to touch
stuff, brother.
guys, and yeah, man. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Facebook, hope we brought you guys a little bit of something today. These guys are regular guys, man. They're awesome. They can talk to you, and they like to shoot the shit, but they're great people, man. And I have the utmost respect for them. And we'll talk to you guys soon. For the rest of everyone out here, again, we want to thank you for tuning in today. Team Jackie Stevens here. You guys can see all Matt. Sorry, Albert, we missed it today, bud, but you know, it was your turn today. Last time it was me. So
thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Moses. Thank you.
All right,
Always a pleasure, and
later,
you guys take care.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
guys.